as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst. So we can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose. We play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do.
Well, hello. We are here today. Hat backwards, but the bridges are coming down. The bridges are coming down. We're burning them left, right, center. You know what I'm saying? Left, right, and center. I think. At least I think that's what's going on. Left, right, and center. We're burning these things down. Because it just has to be this way, you know. Of course, light her up just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm just playing. But we've had some developments today. Things have occurred in the racing world, and we're going to do them very quickly, mind you, very quickly. It is a little late here, 6 o'clock on a Saturday. Most people are getting ready to go on out, and we're pre-gaming you. There is some races actually happening. I know Baps is running tonight down there at, I believe, Tri-State Polka Hall or whatever. They're running 410s tonight. Of course, that is with the series that we covered at the beginning of the year. We went into a special in slide the dirt kind of greatest podcast on the deal. We went and talked to a man named Eggiman, and he was the originator of the Bandit Outlaw Sprint Car Series, and he or at least that's what he is proclaiming, and it seems to be so. And he's actually in a legal dispute with Power I over the Bandit Outlaw Sprint Series name that they attempted to use or something like that. Should get an update on that, and obviously we did that, I believe, back in February or early March. It was still snowing outside, but that is the series that is running down there that everyone is participating in. I don't know how that's necessarily going to work out for everyone involved, but it is an interesting situation to where there was a bunch of things that happened down there, actually. You know, we were actually looking around on Facebook today, and you know, one of the first things that actually popped up on the feed was this situation right here. Let's get this one on the big screen. And it was a race, or the race from Friday night, last night. Of course, they're running tonight, but incident on the track between Brandon Hakes and it looks like Landon Crawley, who is driving the Jason Sides 7 car in this clip here. And he just puts a little caption that says, "Not clear." Now, obviously, very interesting racing incident. Crawley is definitely the aggressor in this scenario. That's for sure. Looks like made up about 3-4 car lengths on a pretty high-speed track that this is. Real quick. And when I say 3 or 4, I mean probably behind him by 2 car lengths and then is in front of his, you know, wheels when the contact is made. So about 3-ish, 4-ish car lengths that he actually out entered the corner than Brandon Hanks. But it looks like a little bit different of an arc to the corner potentially for Hanks, a little bit different way to attack the corner, whereas Crawley just kind of goes in there very fast. Now, of course, this was posted 4 hours ago, and Brandon Hanks is the driver of the car, and people use Facebook. One guy came on here, this Paxton Gregory, just wanted to spout his mouth off, but the one actual comment that I saw interesting was from Tim Crawley, obviously legendary sprint car driver of the South especially, and obviously Landon Crawley's dad. So this is a interesting little exchange here, and Brandon Hakes does respond But it starts off with Tim Crawley saying, watch the video real close and notice how you started your corner entry as to run the top as you started into three and then you turned down just at the same time Landon committed to enter on the bottom. I'm not going to get on here and argue about anything. It's always seen from one side, usually your own, which is understandable. Landon doesn't intentionally try to will anyone, and he went right down to talk to you afterwards. I understand your frustration. Landon is aggressive as I want him to be, but not driving over his head, as you said to him. Same thing with Bowden. You probably didn't realize that Brad Bowden, another racer, Crawley and them, they kind of run over there at Riverside. Called after the last trip to the ditch, Riverside, and apologized after everyone watched videos and realized what really happened. Calm down, get over it. As for Paxton, you do not want to get me started. I guess Paxton is this enemy of the world over here. But Brandon Hakes replied to this by Tim Crawley and said, I ran the bottom every lap. I took wider entries to make exit better. But sure thing. I know Brad called. He told me. We talk every day. One was little too close to call, but the other not so much. I wanted those both too. Or I watched those both too. You can only apologize so much. There's a common theme here. He's your kid, so I get it. But apologizing doesn't fix my race car, and others he's running over. The start money would have paid for fuel to get here. We're out money on parts. So that being said, I will keep it simple. Someone has to calm him down. I passed him clean and didn't touch him. All I ask is the same in return. I didn't get it next time. I will cut it much closer. So few people a little upset, it looks like, with the driving aggression or style of a Landon Crawley down here in the southern sprint car scene that no one knows, that I guess probably most people don't know even exists. I mean, in this race, Corey Eliason was leading. Sam Haferteep Jr. eventually ended up taking home the W. Noah Gass, I believe, finished second or third right there. Reitzel with him was down there. So it was an interesting race and racetrack. The track, I thought, stayed relatively well. It was a good surface, decently racy, really fast. I was surprised at how fast this place is. A lot of your southern tracks are very, maybe quick, but still slow and slick and slow down throughout the night. Not huge or big. 3/8 is kind of a big track in the South. And this track, I would say, is on the bigger end of most of these tracks. At this point, I don't know. I mean, it is sort of a racing incident, but younger drivers have been getting the heat this year because we're not just seeing these style, and maybe they're not meaning to do it because we're not used to seeing so many people pull these aggressive moves on the racetrack. And you got to think, where are they learning to drive this way? And some people could say examples, this, that, and the other. But I mean, to be all honest with you, I think that a big issue in kids over driving the race cars nowadays, and it may sound stupid and I may sound like an old Cratchit or something, especially for us in our 30s age, but I'm going to blame video games and iRacing just a little bit. I mean, the similarities of what they're doing in the games and the simulators, trying to learn and get better. And then also, experience things you can't experience anywhere else. The actual good training utilizations of simulation racing are being used. I think a lot of these kids are able to just jump in different cars and stuff and adapt relatively quickly because they're able to jump in all these cars in a virtual way and at least have an idea of how the other car may drive or react. Like if one of these kids wanted to go jump from a sprint car to a late model, I mean, if they just get out of this car and jump into a late model versus get out of this car and then go run 200 or 300,000 laps in a week's time in a late model on iRacing, they're going to have a lot better shot at driving that late model just based on that iRacing experience in a virtual late model. If they would have never had that, they would have just got into a car with no idea at all of what could happen, how it could drive, how it could lay, where's the good spot to pin the car, stuff like that, how to enter differently. You can kind of get that. But at the same time, the one negative to iRacing is this aggressive style of fuck it that we are seeing by the younger kids is rampant in iRacing. This style of run in there and throw a slider and you know, you're not trying to wreck them, but you do, who cares? The reset button. You know, this is the way that they race on these games. They race aggressive. They throw moves in there that you shouldn't do. And even in the game, maybe sometimes they work, maybe sometimes they don't. But I mean, I think that that's where visually they're in the car and they see a opening and they got so many, you know, muscle memory situations from the sim racing stuff of just go for it, take it, that's happening in real life. And maybe in the game, you know, the other guy gets the bad end of the stick, but they don't have to pay for it when they do. So it's not only teaching them possibly aggressive driving styles and tactics, but it's also teaching them to do those aggressive style of driving and tactics and have no repercussions for not only yourself, but the other guy who gets his car junked. You know, there is no money factor or repair car in the simulation world. So, I mean, they're not really getting trained a response or a big time negative response for pulling such an aggressive move. So I think that that's also playing a part here. And honestly, it just dawned on me to think that maybe the sim racing stuff correlating with these kids the kids nowadays are driving these iRacing cars since 8, 9, 5, 4, 6, 7 years old. You know, that's how me, Larson, and Swindell and Bell, even and Logan Seavey, we all know each other from racing freaking R Factor 20 years ago. You know, when we were a lot younger. You know, I remember me and Kyle were like buddies and kicking ass on the sim stuff, and I go to take a dump, and I'm reading Sprint Car Midget magazine. I get to the back of it, and it's like up and comer, and it's Kyle. I get on the Ventrilo or whatever the hell it was at the time. Some people know what that is, but I mean, get on there and like, what the hell are you doing in a magazine? You're actually decent over there in California, I mean, you know, talking shit. You know, Ricky Thornton Jr. is in there. Yeah, Chaz, you know. So, I mean, it's funny how that much of a future in motorsports was actually sim racers like 20 years ago. And there wasn't many people doing it, but the elites of the sim racing world back then are kind of bigger in today's society for racing. But for sure, when you think about Larson and Bell and even Ricky Thornton Jr. and CV and Kevin Swindell and even myself, I'll throw myself in there a little bit. Mike McKinney, you know what the hell I'm talking about, you damn lap car. But anyways, I'm just saying, these kids are doing these simulation games from a very young age, and the muscle memory and things that you should do on the track, their first experiences of those things on what to do, even in a big sprint cars in the simulators of the world. So I think that is playing a factor, because we are seeing a lot of the younger ages pull these ultra aggressive moves. And it's like, who taught them that? Where did they learn that? And like I said, I don't want to sound like a Cratchit who says the violence in video games is what's causing violence. I mean, the weird part about that, and the reason that even was a headline, is because it had a slight little bit of validity for people to even actually think that video game violence caused real violence. But I wouldn't necessarily go to that extreme. But I definitely think that it desensitizes people to what happens when it goes wrong. Like, if a person, like in a video game, you walk up and shoot somebody and you run away, that's not what happens. I mean, you run up and shoot somebody and their guts fall out and they start screaming like you've never heard before, and there's blood everywhere and it's squirting all over. Like, that's what actually happens. I grew up in the hood. I'm sorry. I know about some of this stuff. I was on the streets of LA as well. But at the end of the day, that's what happens. You know, and if the game didn't train them that or if the game, didn't train them that when that happens, you don't just run away and don't see or hear or feel anything. No, there's like some real shit that just happened when you did that. I mean, similar in this situation, it's desensitized the repercussion in the game. You run in there, you take the shot. Oh, you fuck it up. Okay, well, reset, and the guy that you potentially wrecked, he's fine. He's maybe pissed I did him wrong, but who gives a fuck? That's it, right? No, there's a guy on the ground over here with the car upside down and money's flying everywhere. Just like, just like the blood situation. I'm just saying. But maybe this does correlate. I think potentially there is some little correlation with the young racers of today's society being ultra aggressive and maybe being desensitized to the repercussions when it goes wrong on the real racetrack versus the fake one. And I know Landon Crawley used to be, and I don't know. I mean, seems you can get addicted to that sim racing stuff. You start doing it 1 or 2 days, and next thing you know, you're doing it 5 or 6, and then you're up till 2 or 3 a.m. Especially the young kids may not have a bedtime. I'm just saying it could be bad. It could get real bad in the addiction to sim racing. It is fun. It's fun. I mean, it's fun. It's addicting. If you think you can dominate it and be as just as good as I was, good luck. Chase Briscoe called me the Steve Kinzer of sim racing, so you ain't gonna have no shot. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I feel like real life scenario repercussions are not taught at all in that world at all. Period. And that may be translating here, but I don't want to keep going in circles on this. I wanted to talk about some other stuff, and the exchange here seemed to be relatively harmless. Laura Crawley came down in there. We may have to have a talk show with her or something here very soon. Oh, Laura Crawley. She's got a big, long list of things. Nobody replied to that one. Nobody replied. They liked it, though. 5 likes, 7 likes. I wonder what the real opinion is there. That may be interesting. It really may be. I did want to do a little bit of a shout out before we get into our next subject. On the website, we just put out the brand new arrivals to the scene, buddy. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It's a brand new design. LongLiveTheChaz.com. Check it out. You go to LongLiveTheChaz.com. Come over here to the shop. You see that tab? And you go to new arrivals. Of course, the Chaz and all this other stuff from Texas. Nice apparel there. The Chaz, that's where you get the hats and all that stuff. But the new arrivals, check this design out, buddy. Let me show you something that I got for you for all my real Jesus society. We have my new design that I have dubbed the Chaz Professional Gaslighter. You heard it right here, boy. Professional Gaslighter. That is what the Chaz is, and you can represent today by going to the longlivethechaz.com and to new arrivals and checking these bad boys out. Look, I be cooking me up some shit with that apron. Look at that cooking apron right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I tried to keep some of these things in the pricey affordable category, but these some bitches, they charge out the ass to do this drop shipping service. But I'm gonna have to buy these. I don't get stuff for myself. I have to buy my own merchandise. Yes, it's hard out here for a pimp or a light-skinned sorry, I almost said too much. I'm from the ghetto. But anyways, look at these right here. This Professional Gaslighter all over print, bro. Oh my God. Let me show you the design. We got the cups. Here's the shirt, a beautiful couple. Look, and ain't that the damn truth? A beautiful couple wearing a damn pair of Professional Gaslighter shirts. We know what that's all about, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? We all, professional, or the word gaslighter is overused. It has been abused in today's society. It's like liberal. We don't even know what liberal even means anymore. I mean... But this is the regular T-shirts here, $25. It's about as low as I could get it. They actually wanted to charge a little bit more, so I had to put a little bit of a discount on it. But look at this. Look at this shirt right here, guys. Oh, my. Look at that. Professional Gaslighter. Stick the fork in their ass. Look at that thing. I mean, that is clean, buddy. I mean, that is legit. And you get the Long Live the Chaz Sprint car on there too, but 3D edition. Oh my God. I gotta slow down. I'm actually getting erect just a little bit. I don't know if it's because no, I wouldn't get erect by that anyway. Let me scroll to the next. This thing is clear. Oh, speaking of erect, hey, what is your name? Those jeans being that high, I'm telling you. Although I don't like how you cut my front wheels off. Is your name Landon Crawley? Huh? Why did you cut my front wheels off, ma'am? Is your name Landon? Or is it Brandon? Some people may say that you're a lady. I may be misrepresenting and labeling you right now. I'm sorry. But anyways, I think that this thing is just awesome. This professional gaslighter, I kind of just gave you a preview on what I mean. I just think this is clean. On the Long Live the Chaz website, pick them up. You got the shirts. I already showed you that all over print shirt. That thing is clean. I mean, there's some other items in here. The coffee cup, black. Oh, and the cool thing about this, you could get these with the inner side black, or there's actually 5 colors to this coffee mug, and they're really clean, double-sided print. As you can see, I got them on both sides, so you're always seeing this shit. It looks real nice on white, too. I think it does look real nice on white, even with that hard black outline. I do think that looks nice. But this one comes in multiple colors. Like, it changes the interior color. I almost like that light blue. Kind of matches that flare that I got in there. That light blue, this is a dark blue right there. And the pink, I kind of like that pink, bro. On that wood table. And then the red, I think, looks clean, too. But that light blue, obviously, you can't go wrong with black. But that light blue, dude, I'm going to have to add that to cart. These are, $15. There's 15. These are 15-ounce mugs as well. These are not small mugs. These are not the little, where you get the Keurig and you got to be safe to click the right button, or it's going to be on the edge of the cup and you can't fucking even use it. You can't even move the cup from the Keurig because it's going to spill everywhere. I hate that. Although I use a Ninja brewer, a man coffee, not a water coffee like Keurig. But those are 15-ounce mugs right there. Those are not little baby ones. Also, this is something I'm buying. I 100% am buying this. I want to walk in the freezing cold. Kind of my idea of cold plunging for the poor man. I don't want to pay someplace to go sit and freeze my ass off. And I don't want to buy one because I'm a piece of white trash. I can't afford the shit. So what I'm thinking is, it being in this location up in Northeast Iowa that I'm located in, it gets very cold here. The average high in January is -3 degrees. Let me say this again, -3 degrees. So my idea is, instead of waking up and cold plunging, waking up and walking, go get some coffee or something. Go walk somewhere, get some coffee, or go somewhere, walk around in the freezing -3 degree temperature. That's going to be my cold plunge. But the one part that sucks about that is that the face with the wind. In Iowa, it's very windy, and that wind is almost like a knife. Like today I was walking, it's like 30-something degrees or something, and the wind was just like piercing. And I was like, I need one of them like face mask deals, like the gaiters. And this is one of, and I didn't know they had this, but this is a new product to me at least, a winter neck gaiter. So with a drawstring, so it won't slip off of your head or your face like the traditional just stretch kind would. But this thing actually will go over your face and keep you warm. Because obviously we're going into the winter seasons. We kind of need some stuff to keep ourselves warm. But this actually draws over the mouth. And the reason it's down on the design here is because I wanted it to line up the professional gaslighter right there on your mouth, because we know that is where the flame flies out. Not just the sprint car as the professional gaslighter, because we know a sprint car is a professional gaslighter, but because it takes gas and, it's a fire-breathing engine. We also have a gaslighter on my mouth, and that's why this says the Chaz, and it's the perfect combination of sprint car and my mouth and gaslighter. So this actually will line up right there at the top side of the design, and the more so rolled up pieces are on your neck, so you really don't even care if that's designed or not. So that's why that's made up in that way. So I'm definitely buying one of those. $17. I couldn't. That was like the bottom price. And then you already saw the all over print. We got the apron, and then the long sleeve sweaters. These are New Blend sweaters, not cheap, but think of more so these as a hoodie. And that's kind of what I did here, because I didn't like how the prints were for hoodies, to be honest with you. The supply that I got to choose from when picking these things. And the hoodie design that I was able to come up with, I just didn't like it. It had it too small. It was like above the pockets. And I like big designs when it comes to racing. I know the new style is little bitty designs and all that stuff, but I like the full-blown actual design pieces. And this is what you got for the sweaters here. And a ton of different colors in here. I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of color that you may or may not like. I mean, that's the one good thing about the drop shipping services. Like, even that brown kind of looks clean. Like, when I clicked brown, I was like, ugh, but what does it look like? That brown actually looks kind of clean, dude. Even that money green with that gold, kind of like even with the blue a little bit, almost a Notre Dame kind of look. And then you got that light baby blue. That looks good too. And not just with this long sleeve sweater do you have multiple color options. You also have multiple color options in the short sleeve and everything else. The Oliver print is in black only, though. I could make a white one, but I don't even know if these are going to sell or at all, or they should. I mean, I'm buying them, but if they do start going out the all-over prints, because I know the Let's Just Bend It shirt didn't really take off well. I mean, there's a few sales, but to make a whole nother line, I wasn't too sure about. But this comes in many colors. So does the T-shirt. The apron is in gray only, but the T-shirts and the long sleeve, multiple colors. So check those out. Link in the description. The new arrivals page on longlivethechaz.com. Pick out one of these. They're as cheap as I could get them, really, right out of the box. And I'll just tell you right now, I'm probably going to buy an all-over print. Definitely going to buy that apron. That's a badass apron. Like, if you're barbecuing and you got a shirt that says Professional Gaslighter and it looks that badass, and it's gray, it's not just black or white, I think that's clean. And I'm definitely getting the coffee cup. And I'm going to be using that winter. I literally got that winter next straw gator on there for me. I usually set this up as, like, what am I going to buy? You know, what do I want? Because I have to buy my own stuff. And, you know, I was walking around today. I was like, oh, that sweater looks nice. Well, why do I need to buy a sweater at a store when I can just go make a sweater of mine and buy it and support myself? Can't like yourself, can't like anybody. That's how I see it. But anyways, that is the new attire here. Let's look at the YouTube chat. Maybe y'all will be going over there soon. We'll see if there's any super chats. We'll definitely read those before we get into another situation. Make a Jeremy Elliott shirt. Can't do that. Cannot do that. Are those flames in that shirt, or is that your hairline? You know what? Interesting thing about this car, obviously, on the shirt. Obviously, my hat bend has always been a subject of discussion here on the shirt, or here on my channel, period. It always has been. And if we open this picture here on this sprint car, the sprint car is actually really bad. Actually, yeah, if I go to the home on the website, for those who ain't went to the website, check it out. But if you look, this is the same sprint car from that T-shirt. If you look at the driver of the car, look at him. He's got the little white and black bent hat. And this took a long time for me to make this fucking car, so I'm going to keep using it. But I thought that was just cool. That is literally my hat from a picture I took. That where the hat was bent like this, and I took the hat and I put it on the driver. You can see the little driver wearing the hat bent like how I do it, and it's even on one side and odd on the other. That is just a hilarious aspect of that sprint car that's on that shirt, and that's how it ties on into the Chaz here. And then of course the I'm loving it whiny ass Larsonites with the W logo is just hilarious as well. But anyways, back to the chat, because y'all just want to cry about everything. I ain't getting sued by nobody. Professional Larson ball liquor. How about this? Look at these people. You know, Spike, we pissed off some people, and this is something I wanted to talk about before we get out of here. There's two more things I want to talk about. So my little idea or speculation or thought about High Limit buying the Lucas Oil late models in the future and High Limit Racing being sprint cars and late models under one banner and being a package deal that you would sell to 20 or 25 events in a year, that group together, because events are what's taken over motorsports and weekly racing is not. So 20 to 25 events, it's huge. And being able to package this sport like the NHRA does with Top Fuel and Funny Car, which in my opinion, sprint car and late model can be replaced in that situation. I would much rather the dirt world be closer to an NHRA that is Top Fuel and Funny Car than the oval world that is NASCAR and IndyCar. Those two things are separated so much and have hatred and animosity. And yeah, there's some that talk nice, but there's there's open wheel and there's stock car. There's IndyCar, NASCAR, and they are separated beyond belief. The fan base is everybody. Whereas NHRA, everybody, you know, you may like Top Fuel more, you may like Funny Car more, you may talk shit about which one looks which and which one's better, but they're still under the same banner. You buy a ticket to NHRA, you go and support both, you go and view both, and you can also appreciate both forms of drag racing. I think that's a way better model to go with this dirt racing thing than the NASCAR, IndyCar versus split up route. So in that aspect, I think it's a great idea. But we pissed off some really high up people. I mean, above the dirt world. Above the dirt world. And they were sent our show, two of them actually, the one where we were drunk for 4 hours, me, you, and you, Spike, and then my video the other day where I started speculating all this. And they gave me a message and a phone number to call. And in this phone number, I started off, I was like, look, I don't know what y'all want to talk about, but at the end of the day, my show is about my thoughts, and my show is also, you know, coined as saying facts are boring and speculation is fun. This stuff is about having fun, after all. It's about, for me, it's about having fun and thinking about things that are possible. And like I said, I think it's a really good idea if that was to potentially happen. But they were not too happy about this. And they even was explaining on how some stuff with Flow operates and some stuff with Lucas Oil, how it's going to operate, and wanted me to know that they are the main reason that they rebranded High Limit to High Limit Racing. And he also, he also wanted me to know that if I had been paying attention, my fat ass would know that HighLimitRacing.com has been High Limit's website address this entire time. Even when it was named High Limit Sprint Car Series or whatever, it had been named High Limit Racing the entire time. So he was just saying they just kind of rebranded it all because he suggested it, for one, and for two, it makes it a little more simplified. So I don't know, you know, obviously this person had some draw and seemed very serious, but he's not from the dirt world. And I don't think this person understands how things operate down in the dirt. You know, my old song, or the song coming up, Down in These Roots. Not just in the dirt, but down in these roots on the underground. And down in the roots behind the scenes of this dirt world. The roots are dirty, buddy. The roots are dirty, and things can be happening and even be a surprise for some of these people. It could happen and be a surprise. So, I think what needs to happen to get to the bottom of this. I could try to ask Brad Sweet to come on. He's probably out completely. I could ask Kyle, which me and Kyle would have the greatest bit. That's me and Kyle Larson on a talk would be like me or like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk for the dirt world, or better than that. I mean, what could me and Kyle Larson in an interview be described upon as two people? Would that be, you know, like Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather? What would the degree? At what numbers? Like I saw the numbers they pulled on their press conference for High Limit, which was okay. But what would the numbers logistically be if me and Kyle Larson were to do a talk show and it be promoted like, say, a week or 2 or 3 days, 4, 5, a week out, just a week out. Next week, we're going to have Kyle Larson live on the Chaz. Just that damn title alone is going to have the biggest numbers in online dirt racing live streamery. It's unbelievable. And I would love, I tried to talk him into it one-on-one in any race car he wants outside of a sprint car, and he's in trouble. I don't even care if it's a super late model. I just need 1 or 2 days testing. I'll put it on his ass. Either I'm beating him or I'm sending him out the park. 1 of the two. That's why I say anything but a sprint car, because I don't want to kill him. I just want to get him out of the way. But outside of all that, I think we need to have the next closest guy who's going to know something about this, because the Sweet Larson side of the fence, it's full of smartwatches and re-racks and extra laps and heat races and who cares about the rules. Whereas the guy I'm thinking I need to talk to knows a little bit more, and he's from a normal world, a normal racing world. And I think I need to talk to Rick Schwale. And if you don't know who that is the director of the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. So this higher up guy who came calling to me today, telling me this, that, and the other, is he right or is he wrong? I don't know. He acted like he was very serious and very important. But maybe having Rick Schwale from the Lucas Oil Late Model side hear my idea on this high limit racing situation and getting his opinion on if it's going to happen or how stupid or smart I might be is the better way to go about it. So, I think that is who we need to have on the show, is Rick Schwale. So maybe we'll see if we can make that happen. I don't know if we can. Rick kind of stays in the background a lot. It's hard to bring him out. It's not as hard as getting Broke Joe to come out of the shop, but it's pretty damn difficult. This guy likes to let as I think, well, actually, he told me last year at Deer Creek, we just like to have our play on the field do all the talking. We don't like to talk much. We like to have results. That's how Lucas Oil, that's how he operates. He's more of a results-based guy. You know, he drives to shops, meets with teams, talks to people. He's a very busy guy. I'm sure we could catch him, though, on the phone for a few hours up and down the road. But I'm just saying, he's a behind-the-scene guy, and he likes Lucas Oil to get the credit. He ain't necessarily a face of the Lucas Oil Late. Well, he is. He is the operationer, but you don't really see that face out there a lot. It ain't like Barry Braun and XR. It's very correlated. You feel the same. It ain't like Brian Carter and World Racing Group. You know, that goes hand in hand. You hear that, you hear that, you hear that. You know, it ain't like Sweet and Larson in High Limit. It's like the faces in the industry. There really ain't that for Lucas Oil. The play on the field is what matters. And Rick's kind of like a Bill Belichick, if you will. I mean, Lucas Oil is the most successful dirt racing organization I think that we have right now, especially when you consider the amount of competitors in the competition level. And they tried the chase. You know, that could be a great discussion to talk about the chase. So, this sumbitch calls me today, says all this, that, and the other. Let's see what the Lucas Oil, let's see what the late model guys have to say about all this sprint car stuff. So we're going to work on getting Rick Schwale. This is a call out if he wants to call. I'm sure he'll hear about what I'm having to say right now. But we'll see if we can make that happen. And that will be the interesting show. Outside of if Kyle Larson really wants to step, and I would like to have Kyle step up and potentially come and be a person on the show. And I don't even want to sit here and argue with him. I want to talk about his racing career, and I don't want to talk about his racing career the way other people have. I want to hear about Kyle Larson's racing career from how it really started to how he really got where he's at. And that means step by step. I want to hear, okay, you were running outlaw carts. Okay, so who did you meet? How did this go? How did this happen? The most extensive potentially helping hand for other racers and young people who want to come up on how many things had to go right for a particular person to get where they are today. I don't know. It might be a long list, might be a short one, but it'd be an interesting list that I think a lot of people would like to hear. We could sit here and talk about how Kyle went from Toyota to Chevy because of Ganassi drive. Is it that simple, or did this happen? Did that happen behind the scenes in front of everybody? What happened? How did it go? And then if he wants to argue with me and call me a dumbass, that's fucking fine. I hear it from 10,000 Larson Knights all the time. Who cares if I hear it from Larson himself? That'll be so hard. I can't handle it. Oh, God. Now, if Caitlin said that to me, I'd start fucking crying, but she's a decent person. Regardless, Rick Swale, Lucas Oil, where you at? Give me a ring. Facebook message me. You're my friend on it. But anyways, I did want to talk about one more thing that did happen in the racing world that is unfortunate. The bridge has come down at Williams Grove, ladies and gentlemen. This is a picture from the Williams Grove Speedway of the removal of Big Blue. The bridge, legendary, iconic bridge that goes over the back straightaway of the Williams Grove Speedway has been removed. And this was some pictures of the, there you go. These are pictures of the construction. Let's see, we got to get this back to, or deconstruction, we'll say. I'm thinking like 3 different things at once. See, that's why I can do it on the track too. But, deconstructing it, removing the steps, and you see the bridge being put onto a truck. Well, actually, we should have, I guess it's going this way. Okay. The pictures aren't necessarily in order, but they are being put on, or the bridge itself, the actual structure of the bridge that went across the track, and potentially the other components like the staircases as well. They are being transported over to the person or people who have actually posted these photos, and that is Eastern Museum of Motorsports. Of course, we did our live talk show with Lynn Paxton in 2020, I want to say, or 2019, from the Eastern Museum of Motor Racing, and that's where this bridge is actually going to go, and that's kind of the front of the building right there. Eastern Museum of Motor Racing. If you ever go to PA, Central PA, for some racing action, this is a really good, I would say this is probably 3rd on the list. Well, if I equate the NASCAR ones like Daytona, it's definitely behind Daytona. It's definitely behind Knoxville. It's right there with some others, though. Actually, this one in Knoxville, outside of it being a big building, I would say MMR and Knoxville are very close. The facilities are not the same. It's not a big giant tower like Knoxville, but the actual interiors of this place and Knoxville are very, very close. There's a lot of really badass things in this museum, and it is located in York Springs. It's right down the road from, right in between kind of Lincoln and Williams Grove, I believe. If recollection's hitting me correctly. PA is kind of a mystery for me. I've only been there so many times. Yeah, I was there for a little bit, but the southern PA, I just stayed away from it. But regardless, that is where the bridge is actually going to. So, picture of the front straightaway right here, actually. Oh, let's see here. I was trying to show the picture of the front straightaway, or the back straightaway, sorry about that, without the bridge. So this is what it looks like now. So this is the back straightaway of Williams Grove. Definitely different than we're ever used to seeing. And I heard that this was done because of insurance. Obviously, it is a safety hazard. I mean, we've seen sprint car drivers flip into that bridge before. And who knows what could happen in the future if that happens and the structure's a little too old and it gets hit and maybe it comes apart, flings debris into some standing patrons on either side, because you could stand on pretty much either side of this wall almost. And probably that's an issue, is how close you could get to the track as well. So safety wise, it's good. Historical wise, it's disgusting. Historical wise, it's downright blasphemy. Let's just hope, cross our fingers, that it was done for insurance purposes. And if that's the case, if you ain't figured it out by now, the insurance companies and insurance industry is responsible for so much destruction, overpricing, healthcare to automotive to buildings to so many things in the stock market areas, so many things in the political domain and the regulations and this, that, and the other. The insurance industry is potentially the biggest threat outside of domestic or foreign terror to this world, and it possibly is closer to that in a way, I think, maybe possibly, than anything else out there. Insurance companies, go look into them. Go look. I'm not going to give you a 16-hour seminar here on why insurance companies are bad for society and their political influences and how many regulations get moved by them and how they're buying politicians and this and that and the other. It's really, really extensive, but just go ahead and give a little wink to it if you want to. It's crazy. So hopefully this was because of insurance companies. Unfortunately, it should have had a petition and a rejection of the situation, no matter what rates they wanted to raise, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they raised it because somebody could get hurt. Okay, you're fear-mongering. Okay. Oh, well, okay, so we can't go outside because I might get cold. Oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, so it's like this. It's logical, and then it ends up not being logical very quickly. Anyways, it's unfortunate. Regardless. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Let's see these YouTube chats real quick. We're going to be getting out of here just in a second. Jeremy Elliott lives with the Amish. You'll have to use the underground tunnel, folks. I wonder how they are going to get people from the back straightaway to the back straightaway infield, because getting the back straightaway is a big entry point for a lot of people. And the only way to get to the infield from there was that bridge or to cross the track. And once the racing's underway, they've conserved that racetrack by not letting people cross it. So I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know if they're going to build another tunnel. A better thing would be to build a bigger, better bridge. But I don't know. That'd be really costly and you'd have to go pretty high. But building a bridge might be cheaper than digging a tunnel. Just saying. Definitely ain't going to affect the racing surfaces. And we know how tunnels can affect the racing surface of some racetracks. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Happy Saturday evening. Happy Veterans Day. Had to throw this out there. Happy Veterans Day. Unfortunately, because of Veterans Day, I didn't get me a shipment in from the mail, but that's fine. Sacrifices for 1 day or 2 days of mail is nothing in comparison to the sacrifices that veterans have made. Especially some of those who were in service under the corrupt policies of government and gave their life over manipulational tactics onto their society to believe that they should have went out there and sacrificed their life in the first place. And that's what everyone should really be mad about. We can say war this and fight for your country, yeah, but when your country is not necessarily fighting for the righteous or moral reasons, you gotta question that, don't you? Or if we're being manipulated by Mossad. Some people just don't know. Some people just don't know. And that's sad. That is sad. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Go over there and check out the website. Link is below in the description. The new merch, the new arrival section. I'm going to be buying some new professional gaslighting my merch here very soon. You should too. As always, like the video, share the video, comment below, not just live, and talk about transgenders like Spike. Such a disgusting human being is Spike Fast Racing. Almost as bad as David Gravel. But we're going to reserve those opinions for another time. We had a heated exchange that we're trying to work out right now as well. Me and Gravel did via text. But anyway, as always, be sure to subscribe. Memberships are down here. Super chats are down there. Y'all never used them anyway. Get your name up there. Yeah, you don't give a fuck. I got it. I got it. By the way, new song is coming. Just don't know when. I'll just be like that preppy bitch. I got something really good. I'm going to make you wait on it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
We can ride high, we can ride low. We can ride anywhere we need to go. We can ride all night up to the morning, as long as we make the show. We can be the best or we can be the worst. So we can be the best thing you ever heard. With the motor singing and the grandstands ringing, it's hard to put it all in words. But this is how we ride, this is how we do. Riding mud, sliding up higher in the groove. Don't give a damn about the cash we're spending. With the time we got, we choose to play it on the go, to stay out on the run. We all high, wild, and handsome. Ain't telling you what's right or wrong or what to choose. Hey, but this is how we do. This is how we do. Out on the dirt ovals we play, life in the bright lights with no shade. So letting her go, letting her rip, letting her fly, tossing her in sideways, living